Good afternoon and welcome to the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners meeting for October the 22nd. We are privileged today to have the invocation by Reverend Dr. Shelley Wilson from Church of the Isles in Indian Rock speech. And thereafter, the Pledge of Allegiance will be led by Commissioner Justice. Please stand.
Let us pray. It is with gratitude that we gather here this day, grateful for the life we've been given, for our cities and this county and all the people, for the earth and our environment of beauty that is so rich and nourishes our life that we share. In particular, we are grateful for the lives of these, our county commissioners, who meet this day to make significant decisions, to listen and to speak. Our prayer is that they will feel both the weight of their responsibilities as public servants and the joy and the honor of having meaningful work to do on all of our behalf. May they be given all that they need to fulfill the duties of their office with open hearts, active listening, and confidence in what is good and fitting, with a deep willingness to work for the welfare of all in our community. May they be given the ability to work together with one another and with others, even when there is honest disagreement. May they be empowered, along with all of us, to work with unity and vision to make our home a place of equity and peace and justice for all. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you very much, Dr. Wilson. And I did want to mention at this point before I come down and do some presentations is sending get well wishes to Commissioner Welch. He's ill today, so he's not with us. But I will imagine that he's watching us on TV. So. Okay. We have three proclamations today, and first I'd like to welcome Kirk Ray Smith, who is the RCS President and CEO, and Melinda Perry, who is the Chief Operating Officer from Religious Community Services, to accept the Domestic Violence Awareness Month proclamation. Come on forward. Is there anyone else with you today? Okay, all right. Nice to see you. Hi, Melinda. Good to see you. The crime of domestic violence violates an individual's privacy, dignity, security, and humanity. Domestic abuse cannot be confined to any one group of people, as it affects people across all economic status, race, ethnicity, sexual orientation, culture, and society. Religious Community Services Pinellas is an organization that has provided support, safety, and advocacy to domestic violence survivors and their children throughout Pinellas County for more than 50 years. So recognizing October as Domestic Violence Awareness Month, we hope will bring attention to and we hope to end domestic violence and abuse, not only in Pinellas County, but in our world.
Thank you. I just want to say thank you so much to the commission. Commissioner Steele, really appreciate you, Madam Chair. To be a part of the fight against domestic violence, to provide safety and security for survivors and their families is a true blessing. And we consider ourselves privileged to do the work that we do. We hope that the day comes when we're no longer needed to provide those services. But in the meantime, we're just grateful for the opportunity to help so many.
Thank you for all the work that you do and the families that you heal and help. So. Next, I'd like to welcome Jerry Custon, who is the director of the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, and manufacturing representatives Christina Davenport, Drew Wilson, and Paulo DeLuca to come forward to accept the Manufacturing Day proclamation.
Thank you.
Hey, Jerry. Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Hi. Hello. Hi. Thank you. Manufacturing is a cornerstone in the economy of the United States, Florida, and Pinellas County, and Pinellas County recognizes October as Florida Manufacturing Month. Manufacturing provides employment for over 33,000 Pinellas residents at an average wage of over $63,000 annually, and then in addition to that, another 45,000 jobs in the supply chain. Organizations that support the manufacturing sector include St. Petersburg College, Pinellas Technical College, the Pinellas County Public Schools Career and Adult Technical Education, the University of South Florida College of Engineering, the Bay Area Manufacturers Association, the Upper Tampa Bay Chamber of Commerce, Manufacturers Council, and other professional organizations. Recognizing October as Pinellas Manufacturing Month highlights the importance of manufacturing and draws attention to rewarding high-skilled jobs right here in Pinellas County. And many of y'all may not know, but in the state of Florida, we are second in the biomedical manufacturing area. And so we have many well-kept secrets of manufacturers right here in our county. And you always think of manufacturing as kind of being, you know, smoky industrial sites. But for our part, for the most part, we have very light, what we call light industrial, which produces a lot of valuable goods for not just our citizens here in Pinellas County, but for many others.
Thank you, Mr. Seal. And as you mentioned, we have a lot of biomedical here in the county as well as aerospace. We do a lot of technical things that people don't really realize. And it's very, what we call advanced manufacturing. So most of it is very clean, so it's good stuff. And the other thing is this year we did something we never did before. There's Manufacturing Day is October the 5th. So we give it to school systems, and the teachers say, hey, I'd like to have my kids go visit a manufacturing plant. This year we had more manufacturers than we had kids to visit.
Oh my gosh.
So I think we did over 1,300 kids, was it? Yeah.
1,300 kids?
Over 1,300 kids to go visit. Yeah, so that was great. So thank you very much. Thank you.
Well, that is fantastic. I've always thought that that hands-on approach so that a young person sees exactly what that job entails and sees the products and the outcomes that they might set that as a career.
What we want to do is get that light to come on.
That's good. Thank you.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Good to see you, sir.
Hey, how are you? Good to see you.
And next we have Veterans Day proclamation. And I would like to ask Randall McNabb, who is the commander of the 16th District American Legion from the Department of Florida, to join me at the podium. And any of your other guests and veterans. Ah, great. Thank you. Hi. Nice to see you. Hello. Hi. Hi, Eric. Great. I'll have everybody introduce themselves in a second. Okay. This is our Veterans Day proclamation. The American Legion has been a staunch advocate for veterans and their families since 1919. The American Legion was founded on the 4 pillars of care for veterans: a strong national defense, Americanism, and children and youth. The American Legion has played a leading role in initiatives and breakthroughs that have affected the lives of Americans in every community, from the U.S. Flag Code to the GI Bill. That was a very important bill. The American Legion in Pinellas County are partnered in their duty to serve veterans and their families, as all county veteran services officers are accredited representatives of the American Legion. The American Legion Florida Department, mighty 16th District, representing the local post of Pinellas County, Post 7 of Clearwater, Post 14 of St. Petersburg, Post 104 of Pinellas Park, Post 119 of Largo, Post 125 of Gulfport, Post 158 of Treasure Island, Post 238 of Safety Harbor, Post 252 of Seminole, Post 273 of Madeira Beach, Post 275 of Dunedin, Post 305 of St. Pete Beach, and Post 46 of Tarpon Springs have all fulfilled the Legion's mission since 1919 through programs such as baseball, blood donations, Boy State, Children and Youth, Employer Awards, Homeless Veterans Outreach, JROTC and ROTC, Junior Shooting Sports, Law and Order, Legion Riders, Oratorical Competition, PAL MIA Remembrance, Project Vet Relief, and scholarships. Wow, that is some list of things that they accomplished. On Veterans Day, Pinellas County recognizes the American Legion's 100th year of devotion and commitment to our veterans and to our community as large. So now, therefore, it be proclaimed by the Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners that November 11th, 2019 be recognized as Veterans Day.
I'd like to thank the Pinellas County veterans, Pinellas County members here for this honor. I'd like to say that American Legion is a very diverse group. We're as diverse as the community is. We're made up of veterans of all age brackets, all socioeconomic brackets, all religions, all colors, all creeds. And we work together as a family, as a team. And we work with our communities, within our communities, for the good of our community, state, and nation, as well as our veterans, children and youth, and our nation. We're proud to do it, we're honored to do it, and we're very honored to receive this award. And we have 3 posts within our district that have been doing this, Post 7, Post 14, and Post 46, since 1919, right? So we're very proud and honored to be able to do that, and to be honored with this proclamation today. We have with me Ms. Eunice Butts. She is our 2nd Vice Commander for Department of Florida and our Zone Commander. We have Commander of Post 238 and District Vice Commander Bob Matheson. My District Adjutant, Eric Nessler of Post 46, also one of the older posts in the district, doing a great job for us here. The rest of you like to have anything to say?
I would like to take this time to thank you all for this prestigious honor. These veterans out in the community helping the community, and you would be shocked at the thousands of dollars, I don't mean $50,000 per year, that they do as a unity for the schools, students, disadvantaged, etc. And for you to bestow this upon them, I am so gracious, so proud, and so happy. And to you, Randall, and the 16th District, thank you for the phenomenal job that you do.
We are so pleased to give you all the proclamation this year and to honor all the work that you all do in the 16th District, and thank you most sincerely for not only being veterans, but for continuing to serve our county and your community.
It's a labor of love.
It is incredible. So thank you very much.
Right, you're awfully tall. The other side, Commissioner? Oh, that'll work, that'll work.
Hi, Justice. So I think that's what's happening.
Not my fault.
Okay.
Your vegetables.
You ate your Wheaties.
That's right.
1, 2, 3. Just look there.
Yep, thank you. It's great to see you.
Thank you very much. Thank you very, very much. Thank you.
That's amazing.
I see you. They have an agenda printed out if you. Hopefully I know where it is.
So next, we're proud to have a partner presentation, and I would like to invite John David White from the Circle of Heroes to come forward. Welcome and thank you for being here.
Thank you. Commissioners, thanks for having me. J.D. White. I wanted to give you a short update on something you all are probably pretty familiar with, the Circle of Heroes. But before I do that, I wanted to play a short video. This was aired on Channel 10, and I'm not sure if many of you saw it, but it's a great piece that kind of sets up where we are as a community on the Circle of Heroes. So I think they have it set up to play.
And it will be a place both of reflection, a place of memorial.
Plans this big
Captain Mike, can I have you for a minute?
don't come together overnight.
Today's the 10th.
Every calendar in the Narcosis dive shop points to the same long-awaited moment.
The placement's going to happen the week before.
Joyce Hanasick.
I think there's supposed to be video, not
Place
just
that loves
sound.
red
But
and white.
That's
Almost
video.
as much as red, white, and blue.
My father.
no, that's a nice
Vietnam.
slide.
Wow.
I spent 13 years in the military.
Nearly everyone here has a military past, which is why the next dive
And it will be a place both of reflection, a place of memorial.
Plans this big
Captain Mike, can I have you for a minute?
don't come together overnight.
Today's the 10th.
Every calendar in the Narcosis dive shop points to the same long-awaited moment.
The placement's going to happen the week before.
Joyce Hanasick owns Narcosis, a place that loves red and white almost as much as red, white, and blue.
My father is a disabled vet from the Vietnam War.
I spent 13 years in the military.
Nearly everyone here has a military past, which is why the next dive might already be their favorite.
I'm absolutely looking forward to this.
Welcome to a very exciting day here in Pinellas County, the state of Florida, and frankly for the country.
In February 2018, a small ceremony put a face to the mission.
The Circle of Heroes will include 24 of the statues that you will soon see behind us. 3, 2, 1.
4 statues were unveiled. Military men.
People are going to come to see this.
Joyce was there, emotional, after seeing the life-size figures for the first time.
They're incredible. The detail, look at this. The detail is incredible.
All faces
I can't wait to show these pictures to my father.
destined for the deep.
I can't wait to take some veterans out here, especially the guys who've been injured in battle.
The wait is over for Boat Captain Mike Fox, a Navy man who served in Desert Storm.
Just memories. You know, my dad served, my son's about to serve. This is important stuff.
It's important to Sean Campbell, too, a 13-year Army vet and combat medic.
No clear behind you, Sean. Hold up. No clear.
Just 40 feet from seeing the Circle of Heroes for the first time.
We got to see them pretty up close before they went in the water. It was just sad thing about the guys who don't come back.
Yeah, I haven't seen this before. It really takes your breath away.
What took years of planning has finally come together. 12 statues standing in a ring of remembrance.
Wow, that's amazing.
A place honoring the men and women who gave it all for our freedoms.
At first, I was just kind of really impressed with everything, and I was enjoying the statues. They try to represent everyone and give everyone their proper respect that they do deserve. And I think it's a really moving thing in this environment.
It was tough to get it done. And now it's done, so God bless the people who did it.
That was amazing.
It was definitely hits you at home when you see it just like that. You know, especially the Soldier's Cross. You know, it really hit me. I had to take a minute and remember the people who couldn't be here enjoying this like I could. So it was beautiful.
Kind of cool, huh? It gets me every time I see it. And I like showing that because it's narrated, but you get to see them underwater and in their rightful place. So just a brief update. We had the dedication on August 5th. Many of you were there. We had over 20 dive boats. We had veterans going down for the first time. And it was the first phase completed. I don't know if I control this thing or not. Oh, here we go. Got it. Yeah. It's not going. There we go. All right, there we go. Sorry. So we were very intentional in our media planning for this. We wanted this to make a national splash. You might recognize Preston Rudy, Congressman Jolly, and Hayward Matthews. We came up with a plan that made sure that we got national reach to this. So for our community, there was over $350 million estimated. If you would have spent that in advertising, that's the kind of marketing play we got for this region on the Circle as Heroes. It was played across the country. It was the top rebroadcasted affiliate show across the nation. So people from Boston to California saw pieces on their local news about Clearwater and Pinellas County. We were featured on CNN International and all of these other national publications. It was pretty mind-blowing. Our social media has blown up, as you can imagine, from this kind of impact. We have over 1,400 followers, and the sharing of these stories is incredible. And the reach, I get emails and calls every day, mostly asking, how do I find a dive shop? How do I get down there? Some, suggestions for other statues, but it's pretty amazing the impact of social media and how we can really reach an international audience at this point. Tourism is what we all care about in addition to honoring our veterans. You can see the impact, what we've estimated. Just anecdotally, we've surveyed all of our dive shops recently. They tell us that almost every trip is sold out to go to the Circle of Heroes. We've had over 700 individual people since we've dedicated go to the Circle of Heroes from Nevada, California, all across the country. And we are presenting at a dive conference in Orlando called DEMA. There's going to be 10,000 dive operators from across the country that are coming in. We're going to have a booth there. We're going to highlight the Circle of Heroes. We really believe that they're going to take this back to their local community and suggest that people come back to Pinellas County. The partnerships with national veterans groups has been amazing. We are helping facilitate veterans that have injuries or would like to experience aquatherapy, come to Clearwater and come to Pinellas County. So we are partnering with these national organizations and regional organizations to bring people here to experience the Circle of Heroes. We have started phase 2. We have our 13th statue already designed and made. You can see him here on the left. It's William Flores. He went down in the Blackthorn decades ago. The Coast Guard Association and Sector St. Pete have commissioned this statue. It was just delivered on Monday, so we're excited. It'll be on display. We'll probably dedicate it in January on the anniversary of the Blackthorn. And then we're looking for the next 11 statues. And we've got some ideas. I've put a couple of them here, but there's no shortage of people that we can highlight, and we plan on doing that. This has been a true public-private partnership without the county commission and Commissioner Long we would not have been here because you all gave us $50,000 to start as seed money. We've taken that, we've raised $100,000 private money, and we've been able to combine that and finish phase 1. Now we go back to work and we're starting phase 2. We really think it's going to be about $350,000 to finish the next 11. And the reason is because they're all custom statues from here on out. We bought out the entire supply of kind of off-the-shelf statues. So each one of these in phase 2 are going to be a little bit more expensive, but well worth it. And we believe that, just like for Flores, when we have a unveiling, we can create this kind of a mini vignette, what we created on the dedication, and we can have more impact across the country. So this has been a labor of love, and it's been really inspiring, and I appreciate all of your support. And so I wanted to give you an update and then answer any questions if you have any.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great presentation, and you're right. It's certainly garnered a lot of wonderful, positive publicity, but moreover, what it's doing for the veterans who are diving the site.
Yeah.
It's incredible therapy for them, and
Yeah,
so
it really is.
we're very, very appreciative.
Okay.
And we'll try to help give you some guidance for finding some other dollars.
All right.
Madam Chair, if I may, I don't know if this is the right forum to bring this up, but is there a possibility that they could receive additional funds from Visit St. Pete Clearwater, since it has turned into such a worldwide tourist destination? I think it would be worth at least a conversation about it.
Sure. I mean, that was kind of where I was going to go with it.
Well,
but it wasn't going to. Anyway, it may be the appropriate process is the capital grants funding process, and so we'll work on that. I'm scheduled to meet with Visit St. Pete Clearwater on some other topics, and
good. Yes, I would like, if I may, just a definitive answer. I've talked to county attorney, and we don't fit neatly in any bucket. We're not. This is a first of its kind. So we don't neatly fit in the capital. We don't neatly fit in the advertising. But if we can fit in one of the two, I would love to make a go of it. 350 is a big number to try to raise privately, and anything we can do and have help from tourist dollars, that would be great, because the ROI is there. We know it's there. And just in the last 2 months, we've had a return on investment for sure. So I'd love to work with you. Okay?
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, our next partner presentation, I'd like to ask Linda Leedy, who is the Chief Administrative Officer with the Juvenile Welfare Board, to come up and present. And I want to recognize that Beth Houghton, the new CEO, is in the audience as well. Welcome. Hi, Linda.
Hi. Good to be back. Linda Leedy, Chief Administrative Officer, Juvenile Welfare Board. And I'm here today to give you some information about JWB's Children's Mental Health Initiative. Our children are really struggling. Anxiety, depression, and behavior concerns represent 2/3 of pediatric mental health needs. Left untreated, they can lead to antisocial behavior, poor performance in school, delinquency, and unfortunately sometimes even suicide. A 2017 study done here in Pinellas County Schools revealed that 25% of our youth had seriously considered killing themselves. 20% actually had a plan to do so. And some of you may have seen the report last week that came out from the Centers for Disease Control at the national level, that now suicide is the #2 leading cause of death for youth ages 10 to 24. It used to be homicide. They have since switched places. And the most startling piece of that report was that the rate of suicide among 10 to 14-year-olds, 10 to 14-year-olds has tripled between 2007 and 2017. Pinellas County's local community health providers are excellent, and they're committed to delivering quality care to all the kids that need it. But unfortunately, the demand for their services far outstrips the supply that we have. We need a system that can really deliver care to the children in a timely fashion. We need to minimize stigma. We need to reduce the barriers to access. And we need to get the kids the support, the therapy, the medication that they need at the earliest onset of their condition, because it can be highly effective. And JWB is serving as a catalyst to get this done. If we're successful, we will have kids here who are better able to cope, who are more resilient, who stay on track socially and academically, and hopefully we will have fewer of them who wish to end their lives. So 18 months ago, the Juvenile Welfare Board brought together 40 leaders representing our mental health providers, hospitals, health department, school system, public defender, juvenile justice, USF, the list kind of goes on and on. But it was the best of the best. And they came and participated in a workshop where their objective was to identify what they wanted to see in the children's mental health system in the next 3 to 5 years. And they came up with this really ambitious vision to devise and implement a children's mental health system of care for Pinellas County that will enhance public awareness and provide for an accessible, family-oriented, coordinated, comprehensive, high-quality system supported by an engaged and skilled workforce. So with that lofty task, we set to work and we created 5 design teams focusing on the care coordination, workforce, public awareness and family engagement, outcomes, and system finance. And these teams have agreed that the model that they want to use is to incorporate screenings of mental health conditions into the pediatric visit and have the pediatric offices equipped to deliver services for those kids suffering from mild and moderate conditions. The more severe and complex conditions would still, of course, go to our community mental health providers. They chose this model for a number of reasons. One is because it's been effective in other communities. 2, because it's easier for the families. They're already in the pediatrician's office, and if they do the screen and they see something that needs a little more follow-up, they can just walk down the hall in a place where they're comfortable and not necessarily have to go to a new location with people they're not familiar with. And then ultimately, this should reduce the backlog that we have, because those mental health providers in the community should be able to see those more complex cases if the easier or mild cases are seen within the pediatrician's office. So how are we going to do this? We have partnered with the Community Health Centers of Pinellas, and as you know, that's our FQHC here, and they are located throughout the county in numerous locations, but they happen to have 5 with pediatricians. And those 5 locations are located in our low-income, high-risk area neighborhoods. We're working to get everybody on the team to agree to the screenings that make sense for each age as the kids go through the continuum. And we are informing our work by feedback from parents and caregivers. You know, what have they experienced? What do they need? What do they want? That is helping us redesign the system. And of course, education and training for our pediatricians, their frontline staff, and also our community providers is going to be crucial. So just recently, we've gotten into the implementation stage and the nitty-gritty. Our pediatricians have started presenting cases that they've seen in the last week or 2, and they didn't really know what to do with, or they were unsure whether they did the right thing. And the learning that has happened with the school district and the mental health providers and the community health centers and the pediatricians has been huge. Pediatricians aren't all aware of all the resources we have here. It's been fascinating to see them go, oh, we can do that? And then, you know, and then what's the process for working with the schools to get an IEP plan? There's so much learning that's happening. And, excuse me. And with that learning, we will be developing workflow processes and system redesign. We also have a technology work group that is focused on data. What data to collect, how to collect it, how to share it, who to share it with, and all the legal ramifications that are implied within all of that. And then, of course, the ultimate goal is that this is fairly seamless so that the pediatrician can open the patient's chart and see that the kid was seen either down the hall or off-site and see what the treatment plan and the outcome was. Just like if your primary care physician refers you to your cardiologist for an EKG, he or she then gets the report once it's read. The JWB board understands that this process must be planful in order to be sustainable, so it's going to take some time to get to the end of the road here, but they've committed substantial resources to help us get it done. By spring, we intend to have 30 pediatricians trained in this new model. We will have 5 behavioral therapists staffed in the 5 locations, and we will have begun screening all kids in the community mental health centers. We're really looking at a culture shift, integrating mental health with physical health. It's all one person. It should be taken care of in all one place. So we're making progress, and at this time, I'll take any questions.
Great. Commissioner?
Thank you for that presentation. I was lucky enough to be appointed to the Florida Healthy Kids Board 6 months ago, and one of the conversations at the last 2 board meetings has been this very topic. We have a couple of pediatricians that are on the board, and their concern is we do some screening, but not, detailed enough.
Right.
And then we're not really quite sure in some cases what to do once we have that, or are we equipped to make that right diagnosis? So, but right up their alley in terms of their concerns and the alarm that they were talking about with the kids. So I'm really, this is really great stuff. So thank you for sharing.
Yes, we're happy.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Commissioner?
Yeah. Hi, I think it's a great plan. I really love all the work you did. I know it was a lot of work, so thank you for that. You said that there's gonna be a mental health counselor at each of the federally qualified health centers.
The ones with the pediatricians, yeah. 5.
Right, okay, the 5 of them. Now, is JVB paying for that counselor? Because it was my understanding that they were required to have one then, and the federal government was paying for it, so I was just curious.
We are supporting, yes, those 5 therapists.
So you are, okay. Okay, I'm curious because when I toured their facility a couple months ago, and this before this agreement was done, they said that the federal law was going to require that they all have, every one of the facilities has a mental health counselor in every one of them, and they were doing telepsych. So I was just curious if that was above and beyond, if they're still doing that. Does that mean they have 2? So I'll check with them, but I was just curious.
If you wanted to answer the question.
That's all right. I'll follow up with him and get the information, make sure I'm clear. Thanks, but thanks for everything you're doing. I think it's a great idea, and it's a great partnership, so thank you.
Great, thank you.
Thank you. We look forward to this program being successful and then expanding it. Okay, at this point, we have our citizens to be heard. Lenore Faulkner. It's been canceled.
I'm going to try.
It was on the agenda, and unfortunately, the partner presentation for Pure Pinellas had to be canceled today.
I rewrote this while I was sitting there. My son's been a patient at James A. Haley for 20 years, and I go over there 5 days a week, and I hire someone to go over 3 days a week. And I ran out of money 5 years ago, and Congressman Jolly got me a ride on the Bay Pines van, and I'm really into chaplains. Our chaplain from Uganda was, it's his ordination day, and while I was sitting here at one meeting on June 24th of 2014, he was declared dead at a hospital, and he was only 55. And anyway, so good afternoon, Commissioner Seal and honorable commissioners. God bless you in your work, serving all, especially our precious children. I'm Lenore Faulkner from Madeira Beach, a Florida educator since 1967. I was deeply involved in America's space program, and I was born at the U.S. Naval Academy 73 years ago. January 3rd, 1946. I'm the eldest of 80 million baby boomers, and I take this very seriously. I fight for education excellence. Dad fought for public education, not charter schools or virtual schools. 2 years after I was born, he returned to school on the GI Bill to complete chemical engineering. Mom was an artist. I taught 8th grade chemistry at Pinellas Park Middle using art and chemistry. My students' chemistry magazines were on the internet in 1998. I'm a woman way before my time and always in a man's world. I returned to my classroom. I wanted to be a chemistry teacher. However, my job would be a veteran's mom. My son was at a local hospital with an anoxic brain injury. They refused to treat him for 6 weeks because he did not have insurance. They just declared him brain dead. He was frozen in a fetal position, weighing 110 pounds. His sister, a social worker, realized he was in the Navy. He has been on a food tube for 20 years. He does not speak, but he has the joy of Jesus. I have spent every holiday there for 20 years. My brother's a Catholic priest, and he said his church is his home and James A. Haley is my home. In August of '99, I was involved with lymphedema, and Chad arrived there, and I've been in the polytrauma family support group for 15 years. God bless our veterans. God bless America. God bless you.
David Ballard Geddes Jr.
Hi, thank you, Commissioners. That woman that was just up here talking about medicating our school children, that's a very delicate issue with me. I caution you on moving forward with that type of initiatives. My name's David Ballard Geddes Jr. I live on Georgia Avenue in Palm Harbor. The Southern Comfort Mobile Home Park on US 19 has just been foreclosed. The judge overseeing the case cited that the water had been deemed unsafe for the residents who live there. The water coming from the faucets has given their children rashes and is causing people's hair to fall out. The people who live there have been complaining that the water has a brown, rusty hue to it and it smells like sewage, and sometimes the water smells like chlorine and burns their noses as they shower. According to the newspaper article, the residents have less than 3 weeks to find another place to live as the park officially closes on October 31st. The residents feel that their home is being ripped away from them. The Department of Environmental Protection is saying that the mobile home park is being closed after a private sewage treatment plant on site leaked bacteria and raw sewage, and the contamination also spread to the well's drinking water. Now, I question, if I was to take a look at this issue from a wider, long-standing perspective, is not the county legislation itself acting not less different in, is not less guilty, is no less apathetic, is no less indifferent in their treatment of the water supply towards the residents who live in the county? Our local government is taking temporarily treated chlorinated fecal nitrates and injecting our wastewater directly into the aquifer from which we get our drinking water supply. The county is no less irresponsible than the owner of the trailer park referenced in the newspaper article. The water pipes in St. Petersburg are upwards of 80 years old. The sewer system is crumbling and is less than paid proper expected political performance of government. Uniformly, the infrastructure in this nation has been deliberately neglected. As our political climate changes, are we going to evict the inhabitants of this land, or are we going to challenge the underlying Commonwealth system that puppets out our current political structure? Because something's going to give here, as it did with the example set forth in this newspaper article. The administration of this government will be subjected on water supply issues, and so will the civilian population. How can we find a solution that's going to move forward? Because we're rapidly coming up to this point in time, and I think we can do this if we work together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Madam Chair, can I ask a question? It's my understanding that only St. Petersburg does deep well injection under the aquifer. Does the county do any deep well injection of our sewage water? That's what I thought. So the only community that does, and if I'm pretty sure I'm correct on that one, the only community that does deep well injection like you're talking about is the city of St. Petersburg. And they've expanded their use of deep well injection, but the county doesn't do deep well injection. And I just wanted that for the record. And I know he's talked to you all a lot, and it comes to Tampa Bay Water. But I just, when he said that the county deep well injects, I just wanted to be clear that the county does not deep well inject onto the aquifer. So just for the record, thank you.
Okay, I also add the Tampa Augmentation Tap and South Hillsborough Augmentation Recharge Program is also part of an initiative.
Right.
Greg Pound.
Greg Pound, Largo, Florida. This is what it says about our youth in Isaiah 54:13. It says, "And all thy children shall be taught of Yahweh, the God of Israel, and great shall be the peace of thy children." I was reading this in the paper. This is past week's paper, Tampa Bay's Time, and it's the secure facilities for teens. It says the children's welfare system has failed, though these children, Chronister said, it says, "I would never believe the fix would be to arrest the victims and send them to a secure detention facility." So this is how they're dealing with the young people. This lady right over here, I've been to her meetings at the Pink Building down here on 113th Street in Almerton, and there's like 24 women in Pinellas County running everything from the school board to every department in this county. There's about 24 women the last time I counted, and maybe 2 men running everything you can imagine in Pinellas County. So what we have now is we have a system where the family's been destroyed. We got a court system that's gone totally anti-men, anti-God, anti-children, and we have a system that's it's crumbling and out of control. And so the responsibility that's going to fall on us is going to be on the men's heads. I go to the Capitol. This is a thing I go to at the Capitol every year. It's called Muslim Capital Day, Florida, USA. This is a shirt they pass out, and everyone in the Capitol wears it. The people I know that's involved in Islam tell me that in 10 years period, they're just going to naturally take over because our families have been wiped out. And if you Google, I've mentioned it before, if you just Google white Americans births below replacement level in every state, the people in America, because the women have gotten so out of control in America. Okay, I'm not talking about oppressing women, but I'm talking about who's going to build the homes, who's going to have the babies. We got more women graduating from college. We got more women working. I mean, who's going to have the families and who's going to have the babies? Okay, and so what we've got is a situation now where the men are becoming the women are becoming the men, and it's destroying us. And so the only thing is this YouTube Greg Pound for Sheriff 2012 Muslim demographics, and that'll show you the demographics of what's going on all the countries in the planet, on this planet Earth, and it'll show you where we're at and what's going on. And so it's like we have a system where people, I mean, when the Muslims take over like they're doing in Europe, I mean, you women, I mean, you're not going to fight with the men. It just isn't going to work. What you're doing is you're destroying the greatest country in the world that God's given to us through our Constitution, our Bill of Rights. You have the authority now. We got women running everything, from the prison system to the county commissioners to the sheriff's department. Every agency now is being run by the women, taking over.
Yeah.
Okay.
We are.
Okay. We are moving on to consent agenda items 8 through 22. Is there item that needs to be pulled?
Second.
Okay. Motion by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Eggers. Shoot.
Okay. I'm a yes.
Me too.
It's not coming up.
I was on the agenda, but I didn't join. All right, there we go. Okay, passes unanimously. Okay, next we move to agenda item 23.
Madam Chair, this is a request for approval to submit a grant proposal to the Florida Department of Economic Opportunity and Enterprise Florida to fund design plans and specifications to construct a new taxiway that provides airfield connectivity to the Airco property at the St. Pete International Airport. That grant is provided in order to promote public infrastructure and workforce training The grant would help fund engineering design service required to construct a new taxiway. We're requesting $1,897,380, and the airport would be putting in $210,820 for the total of $2,108,000.
Any questions? Move approval. Motion by Commissioner Gerard, second by Commissioner Peters for agenda item 23. I'm a yes. Okay, passes unanimously. Agenda item 24, economic development.
This is another request for a grant proposal with the Florida Department of Growth Management and Fund, and this would be to help support the Tampa Bay Innovation Center incubator. We're requesting $4 million. That would be to add to, if you remember, the state or the federal government gave us $7,400,000+, and this would be part of the match that we'd have to bring forward, which is $4,536,000. The city of St. Pete's providing the land, and this would be a process moving forward with the incubator development design.
Questions?
I have Mike here if you want to
Is there a
ask
motion?
questions.
Move approval. Second.
Second. I have a motion by Commissioner Gerard and a second by Commissioner Peters. Okay, that passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 25.
This would be to adopt a resolution expressing support for Formulated Solutions LLC as a qualified applicant for an economic development ad valorem tax exemption pursuant to Section 196 of the Florida statutes. And to allow, and they would be making improvements on tangible personal property. The company is a hygiene product manufacturer using innovative formulation to create unique products for the healthcare and medical industry. This would add them approximately 24,000 square feet of warehouse space and some 75 new jobs.
Question. This company was founded in 1999, I think. Was it founded here, Blake? Do you know?
Mike is here too. He can give you some of the background, Commissioner.
I believe it was founded here. It's in the facility that was formerly Smith & Nephew's unit over on Starkey Road. Mm-hmm. Yeah, but it's been a locally grown and operated company, and they've outgrown their current site. And fortunately, we've had a lot of good support from our permitting department and our development review services department to take a look at the site and find a way to get this 4,000 square feet on the current site.
On the current site.
Been very, very helpful.
Well, that's great. I mean, this is a good deal. I mean, I'm talking about the number of new jobs, and I'm assuming that the wages, we haven't gotten into that, of course, yet, but the wages are going to be.
Yes, no, they'll definitely be above the average. We'll see what the new wages will be as far as, this is a two-step process again. Mm-hmm. Once they work with the property tax collector and appraiser, we'll come back to you with an actual document that tells the number of years and the percentage of taxes that would be exempted. So this is only on the additional taxes. They continue to pay their taxes on the current property as it stands today, but a portion of the new tax roll could be exempt. And we'll bring you as a formal document with all the details.
And these tax exemptions, I like them so much better when they're homegrown companies. They're here, they like to be here, they want to stay here, they probably will stay here, so it's nice to be able to accommodate.
Yeah, no, they are. They're fully operational here and have been since Smith & Nephew left the facility.
Thank you, Mike.
Great,
so
thanks.
this is already negotiated, or is it subject to?
It's subject to negotiation.
Negotiation
as well.
still?
Yes.
Okay.
Oh, yeah.
All right, I just wanted to make sure. Any other questions? I did look at their website.
Yep.
Very interesting company.
Mm-hmm.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gerard, second by Commissioner Eggers. Commissioner Long?
Sorry. Yes? Yeah.
Okay, very
Thank you.
good. Passes unanimously. Agenda item 26.
Yes, agenda item 26 is the recommendation of approval for the grant agreement with the U.S. Department of Justice under the fiscal year 2019 Opioid Affected Youth Initiative for the project titled Aiding Drug-Impacted Children in Out-of-Home Care. The Department of Justice grant would expand and provide additional resources for opioid-affected children participating in family dependency treatment court and early childhood court. The grant will serve at least 75 children with comprehensive service and treatment, and with at least 90% seeing improved family relations and 80% exhibiting some reduced trauma. There is no match for us in this grant request. And Daisy's here if you wanted to have more info on it.
Yeah. Question. Is this, this is not an ongoing program, so this is an incremental program that we're adding?
Daisy Rodriguez, Director of Human Services. So this is a new grant opportunity to expand the services.
And the $1 million is for
3 years.
For
It's
three
$1 million
years.
over the next 3 years.
What happens after the 3 years, if assuming the program is successful?
I'm not sure.
Oh.
We'll follow up and see if we get some more
So are
funding.
grants still available at that time?
Well,
For
explore whether-
continuing?
We don't know. I'm not sure. I don't know.
Okay.
You never know when you.
No, I know. I love the program, I wonder who's going to take over the program in 3 years. That's, it continues to grow, so, thank you.
Thank you.
And so West Care is going to be providing the actual counseling
West Care will be
in
providing.
home, like in the foster home?
I will have to confirm that.
Okay.
I know West Care is a part of it, but I'll confirm that.
Okay, great. Thanks.
Thank you.
Thanks, Daisy.
Is there a motion?
Move approval.
Your second?
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Peters, second by Commissioner Long on agenda item 26.
Madam Chair, this would be
Oops,
an award.
Wait, we're going to vote first. There we go. All right, we're ready for 27.
27, okay. This would be an award to bid Denson Construction, Inc. for the project to go forward, Philippi Park Pedestrian Bridge Replacement Project. This will be a companion to 28 with the City of Safety Harbor we'll get to. But we would be rejecting the bid from Caldeza Construction on the basis of being non-responsive for not meeting the bid requirements, and approval of award of the bid to Denison for the Philippi Park Bridge replacement. 8 bids were received, and the lowest responsive pre-qualified bidder in the amount of $484,717 was Denison. This will be cooperative with the City of City of Safety Harbor, as I mentioned. And they are a certified Pinellas County Small Business Enterprise vendor. So this is part of our ongoing small business jobs.
Any questions?
I'm sorry, just, the total cost is going to be 484.
Ken, is that?
Yeah,
the
I just
correct
wanted to know
number?
that.
I think it
Actual
is, but
bridge. The next one
I'm-
is the actual amendment because of the, on 28 is the amendment for the
Yeah.
design
Right.
permit and project
Because the
management.
city is working with us, so the total cost is
Ken?
not 484.
Ken Jacobs, Transportation. The construction agreement is $484,000, but it does not include the design that we've already put into the project. So that goes above and beyond the amount of money that was originally funded through the agreement.
So what was the money that we gave the city for this?
The money that was allocated to the city was part of your BP funds.
Right.
So back in 2016, the city put together a proposal to ask for $250,000 of the BP funds, and they would match it with $250,000 of the city's funds. So that covers the construction. The agreement was amended because the overall cost for the project went up to.
Okay, to 694.
To 694.
Okay, that was where I was confused on. So they are putting up 250.
Yes.
it was a little concerning that we were paying, it sounded like all of it, but thank you for that clarification.
Oh, Commissioner Justice, yes. Ken, don't go too far, please.
This might be for you. You mentioned that they were a small business, Pinellas, but it's a Plant City business. But then I was looking at the submittal, and it talks about 2% project goals for the SBE, but it didn't have a list of subcontractors. So I just didn't know if there's a listing. Do they provide a list, or is that part of the, what part of the process do they give the list of the local vendors that they
Joe
use?
can probably answer
Joe
that
can
better.
help with that. We've got a huge list now.
Joe Laura with Administrative Services. The actual firm is 100% DBE certified by Pinellas County. And the way our program works, it's 4-county area, so being in Plant City, yeah, that qualifies.
Gotcha. Okay. Very good. Thank you, sir.
Any further questions? A motion?
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Eggers and second by Commissioner Justice. Passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 28, companion item.
This companion 27th improvement of Amendment 1 to the interlocal agreement with the City of Safety Harbor to replace the pedestrian bridge. They would increase their contribution by $194,717.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Eggers, second by Commissioner Gerard. Okay, passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 29, real estate management.
This would be to adopt a resolution authorizing the submittal of a construction grant application, pardon me, for the East Lake Community Library renovation project and necessary certifications. The funds would enhance the recent expansion of the library by performing minor interior renovation, furnishings, lighting, etc. Funding in the amount of $170,000 will be considered with the 2020 state legislation. There is a required $170,000 match that would be used from the funds reserve set aside by the East Lake Library. Total project cost is $340,000. Palm Harbor Community Services Agency approved the request to submit this grant.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Gerard. Okay, passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 30.
Agenda item 30 is authorization to lease real property between Pinellas County and the towns of North Reddington Beach and Reddington Shores, and an interlocal agreement between Pinellas County and the towns of Reddington Beach, North Reddington Beach, and Reddington Shores, and a ground lease agreement between the county and the town of North Reddington Beach, and a facility lease agreement between the county and the towns of North Reddington Beach and Reddington Shores. This is to put in a fire facility and a facility, joint use facility with the governments, various governments out there. And that's what this is the process to make it. I do have Andrew, if you'd like to have a more detailed information. Andrew Pupke is here if you want to talk more about the details of what's going on. I know this has taken a while to bring this all together. That I know, although I wasn't actively involved in it.
All good things take a while.
That's true.
Move to approve.
And Commissioner Seal, I would just like to, I know he isn't here, but extend a thank you to former Commissioner J.J.B. Rudy for all of the work that he did to make it come to fruition as well.
Is that a second?
I'm sorry?
Is that a second?
Yes, it is a second. Thank you.
Thank you. A motion by Commissioner Peters and second by Commissioner Long. With a thank you to Commissioner J.J. Barudi. Okay, passes unanimously. Moving on to agenda item 31.
Yes, Commissioner, this is a approval to receive the U.S. EPA funding for a Lowman Community Redevelopment Area and abide by their general terms and conditions. This is to provide funding for a brownfields assessment grant in that area. Private developers could use it, and there will be an advisory committee established to screen sites for funding. And it's a 3-year grant program of $300,000, so the expenditure would be spread out. Don't know how projects might fall in line with that.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Justice, second by Commissioner Gerard, and this is a wonderful.
It's a good deal.
Okay, passes unanimously. Moving on to Emergency Medical Services Authority, Agenda Item 32.
Sitting as the Pinellas County Emergency Management Services Authority approved the Advanced Life Support First Responder Agreement with the cities of St. Pete and St. Pete Beach. This would be an initial 5-year term beginning October 2019 and ending September 2024. It also provides, it would be providing for an additional 5-year option if that was requested. This is consistent with the Growth Management Priority Dispatch Program, and if you want to go into the details, Jim Fogarty is here too. This is one we've worked out with other cities.
I have a question. So it was my understanding, and the county administrator told me that priority dispatch would not be in this, especially with the situation that happened with the council members and the mayor. So I'm curious why priority dispatch is even in this package.
Jim?
Because I was told it wouldn't be in the package.
It's in there. I think it's a study, but no.
It's just Good afternoon, Jim Fogarty, Director of Safety and Emergency Services. The statement that refers to priority dispatch gives the cities an opt-in or an opt-out. And so the city of St. Petersburg has not chosen to opt in. That's consistent with all of the other 18 contracts. 16 of them were approved last month. So this doesn't obligate the city of St. Petersburg to choose to do it or not do it. It gives them the option if they so choose.
Okay, thank you.
And we're hoping, again, that over time, with more data and more work together, that we will get to that point.
Yeah, and the way you just said that, I just want to make sure that the other 16 city ones that we did last month opted in. Or no?
That's not correct. We have 5 of the 18 cities and fire districts that have opted into priority dispatch. And I've got some early results I can show you if you put the overhead on.
You should put it on.
Put it on top of the seal.
You got to put it on top of the seal.
There we go.
Yeah, there you go.
So what you're seeing is the chart of we call it busy on alpha, the calls that come in 911, but the closest unit can't respond because they're on a non-emergency call alpha. The 5 months before we started this program, on average about 81 times a month, the closest unit was not able to be dispatched because they were on an alpha call. The 4 months that we've been doing this, those 81 calls were reduced down to 58. So on average, 58 times, and this is with 5 agencies participating: City of Clearwater, City of Largo, City of Seminole, Whaleman, and Safety Harbor. Countywide, we anticipate about 27,000 times a year we have an alpha-type response that could be handled in this way. So the hope is, yes, that more cities will choose to come on this, but we have some data now that shows that what we expected, in fact, is true.
Okay, thank you. That 5 number is awfully low, but so hopefully this kind of information sent to them.
We've got some pretty good relationship and partnerships, and some cities are more, prove that it works than others, and hopefully we can do that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Jim.
Thanks.
Anyone else? Motion?
Move approval. Second.
A motion by Commissioner Gerard, second by Commissioner Long. Okay, that passes unanimously. County Attorney, Agenda Item 33.
I am requesting your approval to initiate litigation in the matter referenced on your agenda. This is a case that has arisen out of a code enforcement action.
Move approval. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gerard, second by Commissioner Long. passes unanimously. Agenda item 34.
In this matter, I am also asking your approval to authorize litigation. Again, this is an injunctive matter. As you recall in our discussion at the agenda review last week, this is a matter that relates to some alteration of drainage that we are seeking to have restored, and we did upload to your agenda a map of the area that shows the location in question. But we're asking your approval to authorize litigation in this matter.
Move approval.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Gerard and second by Commissioner Long. Okay, passes unanimously. Any other county attorney reports?
Nope, I have
No, I have a question. I'm concerned about the legislature preempting local governments from getting rewards from litigation, particularly in the opiate crisis. Would it be okay if we would agree that that should be on the legislative agenda for our lobbyist and for Brian to watch for and ensure that they don't preempt local government from getting the right to an award? If award is awarded?
Right to do what?
I believe that the legislature is going to take action to preempt local government in the notion that they feel local government can't handle a litigation award. And so if a bill is filed preempting local government from getting an award from litigation that they are pursuing from the opiate crisis, I would like our lobbyists to be watching for it and ensuring to lobby against preemption.
Madam Chair, on that particular issue, and Jewel, if you would please weigh in.
Sure.
It is my understanding from our meeting last week that because we are already in that pipeline and our litigation has already been filed, the legislature doesn't have any standing on what the courts decide in that, do they?
Yes.
I suspect we could see an attempt, and I think it may be wise to monitor things as they proceed in Tallahassee. Keep in mind, you have ongoing litigation. Your litigation is not resolved. And unless and until it is resolved, I believe we could see nearly anything happen.
Yeah, because they want the money.
Right.
I think it's perfectly appropriate for something like this to be placed on your, at least the watch list, to monitor.
Absolutely.
You know, we do have folks that monitor and lobbyists that will monitor issues in Tallahassee, and I do believe it would be prudent to add this to, essentially the watch list to make sure that if something is filed, we become aware of it and take necessary action.
Okay, so
Commissioner Peters is really accurate on that point, though, because I know that there have been even former speakers of the House that have tried to weigh in to stop that kind of action from happening, and it's falling on deaf ears.
So I would just request that Brian be let aware and that our lobby firm get aware so that they watch for it.
Absolutely.
And I'll put a call into FAC and make sure that they watch for it as well.
I can't remember. Did we put it on our legislative?
No.
We did not previously.
I don't know that we were aware of it potentially being an issue when you all visited your legislative agenda.
We
for
were
this
not.
year. But it's certainly something that my office will coordinate with Brian and make sure that we do get it on the watch list. Because I don't know that we know exactly what form it might take, but we'll keep an eye out for
But FAC
any
is
activity.
very aware, FYI, just because we're not the only county that has this issue.
We do have the speaker.
Okay, then we will move ahead with putting it on the watch list and paying attention.
And it's not on FAC's list today, because I was at their priority list, and currently, we have one more vote, but currently it's not on the list, so we'll just make sure.
Well, we have our legislative conference coming up at the end
Right.
of the month.
Right.
So,
Thank you.
County Administrator, Mr. Jake Stowers is with us today,
We
and
do have a report.
we have an update on federal and state reimbursements for Hurricane Irma.
That's correct.
Yeah.
Rika is going to come up and from OMB and give us an update.
Hello.
Hi.
So I'm Frederica Collins from Office of Management and Budget, and I just have a few updates for you regarding the Hurricane Irma reimbursement to date. So to date, our total eligible expenditures total $22.1 million. We're anticipating about $21.5 million in reimbursement. So far, we've only received about $3.6 million, which is about 16.4% of our expected reimbursement. and we have a pending reimbursement funds remaining of $17.9 million. We experienced some delays early on with the process. Of course, the standard delays with putting together our projects and formulating our costs, submitting our documentation, and going back and forth. However, the major delays are attributed to the audit testing. Initially, the state required 100% audit testing for before they would submit or grant our request for reimbursement or even award projects. Now the state has since changed their process. They're now only doing audit testing up to 50%. After that, then they will submit a request or process our request for reimbursement, and then the remaining 50% will be granted incrementally as they're able to validate those figures. Another delay was attributed to, for each project that is awarded through the grant, they required a contract amendment, which we had to go through the formal process internally here, and then also the state had to go through a formal process to obligate those funds. They've changed the process now, so any new projects that come about, it doesn't have to go through the formal process for the signature and everything. So those changes, we've noticed things starting to speed up. We're having a lot of rapid communication back and forth with the state, and it does seem like they're moving along with the validation, so we are anticipating getting the money a little sooner than later. Do you have any questions for me?
Questions? Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. It was just, I appreciate the information because we've been receiving a lot of emails from Senator Rubio's office about award of different grants, so, and with different numbers, so it's good to have the actual numbers of what we're eligible for and what we've actually gotten, so I appreciate that.
Yes, thank you.
That's why I asked to have it gone over today, because I was receiving the same emails, and I'm going, wow, you know, we really haven't looked lately to see where we are, so.
Yes. And the award.
Do we
the
have an
alerts-
end date where we anticipate that we might be made whole?
We do not have a set end date. These things typically do take some time, especially now with them validating at 100%, which was not the practice in the past. However, we're hoping that we can get a big chunk of that money in FY20 and then the remainder in FY21. So, hopefully.
Okay, great. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Agenda item 37 is appointment and reappointments to the Parks and Conservation Resources Advisory Board. Here's, if you look at the board roster, that's what's being suggested. If there's any changes in this roster, please let me know. There is a vacancy, of course, from the YAC, and I suspect we'll see that come forward at some point, hopefully soon. So any changes that any of you all wish to make? Okay, then, for approval. Oh, sorry.
Quick question, Commissioner Peters. How is the YAC appointment thing? What kind of response do we get back from all the?
I think we had 100% attendance at the last meeting. I was in DC, so I wasn't there. Ashley said that she had 100% attendance, and they're excited, but we didn't do the appointment yet.
Okay, all right.
Got a motion by Commissioner Gerard and a second by
Second.
Commissioner Long. Okay, passes unanimously. Agenda item 38, new county commission business items. I am going to go first and mention that Michael Zoss is with us today, but I did speak to him about the dredging issue, and it is not currently in our tourist development plan as an approved use. Actually, if you go back in history, beach nourishment has been the only allocated category since 1980, 86? 88. I'm passing out to you also a budget outlook for 20 to 24. If you look at the very bottom in green, the projects total that we have are $64 million, and almost $65 million. We are counting on a great deal of federal and state monies to be allocated for this purpose. I'm always nervous a little bit about that, so I personally would prefer that we stick with the renourishment category only. I think we could, if we open that up, we could be actually doing beach cleanups, which was a subject of a previous commission several years ago during the recession. Well, yes, let's just go ahead and clean up the beaches and take it over from the cities. We could get into all kinds of estuaries and other areas. The dredging could have a never-ending request. You know, you could have the intercoastal ask, you could have all kinds of other areas of the county ask for this money, and I just think it just is a dangerous area to open up at the present time.
What, are you hoping for discussion?
Yeah, I mean,
You just left
I'm
it
stating my thoughts and giving you some budgetary.
So you're talking about any of the dredging on the intercoastal that we've talked about, you're talking about Tarpon Springs dredging, you're talking about canals, you're talking about our lakes and all of that. And you're lumping them all together into one.
I kind of am.
Yeah, well,
Because I just think, once you say dredging, you can't, they're going to come forward and ask for
everything,
all kinds of dredging projects. And I just am fearful of opening the door.
So I have a question, though. Could we do with this issue like we talked about with the transportation issue and maybe consider it on a case-by-case basis? What about that?
If you did, then I guess you would have to have some tourism parameters around it, or
Well-
you would have to have something specific. I mean, I'm happy to take it back. We would have to amend our tourist development plan.
Which I've been asking for since we started talking about it, because that will take forever, all on its own. But, you know, the world is changing, and we do have considerable amounts of money sitting there from when we paid off our debt on Tropicana Field and when we enacted the Sixth Cent. So at some point, we do have needs, Commissioner Seal, and we can't just keep asking for, you know, raising taxes to take care of them when we have this kind of money sitting there. If it has a nexus to tourism, it seems to me that we should be considering these things on a case-by-case basis. That's my, you know, for discussion.
And so to the extent that we're talking about changing something, Tourist Development Council, as it regards to this, some of the things that we've talked about don't have that nexus to tourism necessarily. But yet, the county has made a commitment in some cases that they have changed their position on after probably 15 years. And I'm talking about the canals on Tarpon Springs as an example, where we've been doing the dredging, or I shouldn't say the dredging, we've been doing some work on the canals through about 2010, 2009 or so. And the rationale for stopping doing it was because of the financial crisis that we were in.
So did we get additional money from the state and feds for that?
No.
You know, it was just all county?
So, but that position has since changed. I mean, as far as the financial crisis that we were in. And yet people probably moved there with the understanding that that was being taken care of by the county. Well, we did it for 15 years, so. I just think that I don't want to just wrap it all together into one. I know that's canal treatment. It may be a little bit different than what we're talking about here, but so I mean, I guess if you're just talking about as it relates to TDC, then that's different.
Well, I guess I'm just saying, do you want to, I am not in favor of opening this up if you're in favor of opening it up, I am certainly respectful and would take that back and work on it. But I just think I think we should be very careful because I'm just concerned about the consequences.
I agree with that careful part.
No, I just wanted to say, I think I would be more inclined to look at a tourist-related transportation project than a dredging project that doesn't seem related to tourism or tangentially related. I think there are plenty of transportation projects that are related to tourism in this county, but dredging, I think, is a whole different ball of wax.
Just continue that conversation as it relates to the Tarpon Springs Anclote River dredge, which is being fronted by, the Corps of Engineers for the most part. They're doing the bulk of the dredge, and there's a little issue at the eastern end. And so we're not talking about taking over the dredging of it, but we have a situation where we need to come up with some funding to do it at once. So it costs about $1.2 million instead of coming back later and having to redo and making the project cost $2.5 million. Now, I know that there's still some conversation going on with the city about their involvement in that little extra piece, and there is some conversation with our representatives at the state. So I'm not saying that what kind of role we'd have there, but we wouldn't be saying that we're taking over the dredging of this canal, that we're just talking about this one part that was missed and trying to make it happen at a reasonable cost to ultimate taxpayers at some point. So,
Right.
so
My
that's
understanding, though, that the funding is available in Tarpon Springs. It would have to come from the city of Tarpon Springs, but my understanding is that there is funding available there. So
That's what I said.
I'm not talking about us getting into the dredging business, of course. I was only talking about funding sources. So anyway, that's. Commissioner Justice? Commissioner Peters?
Well, I think that, we haven't had that in-depth conversation whether we were going to do a joint with the TDC or not about the state's expansion, about eligibility for projects, and we're talking about transportation and other infrastructure-related projects. The concern always is that the maximum amount of TDC dollars available, CVB bed tax dollars available, would pay for from here to the door of paving a road, and then you've taken it away from those projects that are traditional TDC projects. And that's a legitimate decision to make, but that is a decision about you're going to do a tiny piece of this project and get rid of all the support we've ever done for those other. And you just have to go in with eyes wide open on that. And some of the dredging, I think you could make a case, just like any of the infrastructure projects.
I think the beach renourishment is critically important, and we can't lose it because it protects the other infrastructure. So I agree with you on that. I do have some concerns about a couple of things. So what I would like to see is when you say beach renourishment, that we maximize inlet management. And I know we're doing inlet management plans, and we have inlet management plans, but I don't think they're as expansive as they should be. And I think that should be incorporated in all the beach renourishment because you're taking the money from the sand from the inlets anyways. I just think we should have better inlet management plans and more expansive, and it would help in some of the dredging issues. The other thing I have issue with, and it isn't necessarily associated with this, or maybe it is, but I don't think it is. We have cities beach communities that their storm drains have filled up with sand, and it's the city's responsibility to dredge the storm drains out, and they haven't. And therefore, we have flooding on the roads. Businesses are getting flooded. Roads are getting impassable in this one particular city because they refuse to dredge out their stormwater drains. And nobody has the authority or any kind of reach to force them to. And I don't know how you deal with that. Because it's a coastal community that's going to have flooding issues, and the fact that they are not maintaining their storm drains, to me, is a huge problem, but nobody seems to have teeth to force them to. So, and I don't know if it's something like that, and especially on a coastal community, that you have some kind of, and I don't know how to get there.
Yeah. Why don't we have, in that case, the gentleman who is our new sustainability director kind of address that as well, because that is going to be an ongoing issue in the next few
Forever.
decades.
Yeah. Forever.
So, Okay, well, let me put some more thought behind this, and I did want to update you on the waiver application, and we are going to, for these elite events, we are going to move expeditiously now on that waiver application, and because it does have some time sensitivity, but we will address the sponsorship and marketing categories later. We just figured we need to get this done quicker, and of course, the application for waiver for fronting the money up to an organization would require the county commission to vote on it.
So, may I ask a question?
And it would have to provide an audit trail and reports as to how the monies were spent. And I did want to address this to Commissioner Gerard because it came up the other day when we were talking about it. In the one case that we're concerned about, there's not enough sponsorship dollars, nor are there enough out-of-area marketing dollars allocated. So
I'm not sure what you mean.
that's why we thought this waiver application was probably the best way to move forward. Commissioner?
But I heard everything you said.
So did I just don't understand.
And I'm struggling to figure out how that isn't setting a precedent for a whole body of other folks to come forward and ask for the same thing, number one.
We were contemplating, and we hadn't quite finished this, but Michael and I were contemplating that it could be at a certain dollar level. Only.
Well, okay, so it's a certain dollar level. I mean, it's not a we're turning it into a free-for-all, which has been my issue with the way in which we've handled this particular piece. Certainly, Michael and I have gone round and round and round and round. I'm surprised he's still sitting here. Good for you. But, you know, at some point, we still are talking about public money. Yes, I know it comes from our tourists, but we are still responsible for how it gets spent.
I couldn't agree with you more, and Michael and I had a robust conversation about that.
Poor
So
Michael.
that's why we were trying to
take it
put in
personal.
a process plus also an audit trail so that they're in, like I said, if the audit trail is not provided, then they would not be eligible to apply for future bed tax monies. I mean, to me, that's kind of the stick. I don't, but if you don't want to do the waiver, I have to tell you that our Visit St. Pete Clearwater staff is going to struggle on how to meet this one request.
So to what you just said, Commissioner, when I first came on the commission, the whole point was heads and beds.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
I don't disagree with you, but this category has been approved and by this board. So if you want to get out of the cultural and heritage category, then we can do that for next year. But for this year, we have what we have. And originally, and to tell you, more about that process, there was actually 3 applicants for the same event, and we were able to explain that you can only have 1 application for 1 event. So instead of 3 $75,000 requests, this became a $25,000 request from 1 applicant. So we've been working on this pretty hard.
I know you have, and I'm just raising the issue because it's out there.
I don't disagree with you. I guess that's why I struggled with how to approach this, but I wanted to do it in a way that provided some accountability for those tax dollars. If you don't want to go there, then we'll say no.
I'm not sure where we're going or not going, but I mean, what kind of action you're looking for, if any? And isn't it up to the TDC that, I don't have any problem with doing a waiver. I think it's a great idea to put parameters around and better define the whole sponsorship thing. Because I think it's mushed up a bit with marketing And no wonder nobody knows what they're asking for.
Mushed, I like
Or
that
what-
word.
It's
That's a good
mushed.
word.
Come on.
So,
Can I ask
so
a
we're going to
question?
work on that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Commissioner?
So, I'm not as familiar as all you are with this. So what I would ask is if Michael would be willing to come, because I want to know how much that extra penny gave you and what you're doing with it. And accountability and transparency is like so important because the legislature hasn't stopped trying to eliminate Visit Florida in the first place. And all of it is about accountability and transparency. And so the more accountability and transparency you're doing, I'm happy with. But I'm curious more about the organization, how you're running it, how much that extra penny gave you, what you're using it for, and even why you asked for it. Because there had to be a reason why you wanted it. And are you doing with it what you said you wanted to do with it at the time? And so I'm not familiar with it, and so all I know is the state level, not the local level. So I would appreciate if you take some time and kind of educate me a little bit. And then I would feel a lot more comfortable on the conversations up here. Thank you.
We, as you know, this year I started a budget committee and a marketing committee, and it's been successful so far. We'll have meetings in November and December. We were waiting to start approaching the budget for next year after November. And so it has given us much more transparency and direction in this, and I'm very proud of the efforts by the Tourist Development Council.
Do you look at
We
measurable
also
outcomes?
have put in quite a bit of money into reserves. We changed that policy a few years ago because we felt that it was important with tourism being affected by the economy that we have healthy reserves, so we have that as well. But they'll be happy to walk you through the whole
Thank you.
information on that. So. And then we have, of course, Steve Hayes coming on in December as our new Visit St. Pete Clearwater Director, so I'm looking forward to that. Finally, I did want to advise you that I've received, and I emailed it to you all, we have received the resignation of Casey Kane from the Housing Finance Authority. So. Okay, anybody else for new business? All right, how about County Commission Board Reports and Miscellaneous? I'll start with Commissioner Long.
Thank you, Commissioner Seal. The first thing on my list, I have it all written down so I don't ramble. I heard you
ramble?
left. What?
You ramble?
Yeah, that's my point here. The Cyber Business and Technology Services, I'm reminding those of you who sit on that committee that our cybersecurity workshop is next Thursday, October 31st. Very important meeting. Please don't miss it. The Tampa Bay Area Regional Transit Authority, our next board meeting is this coming Friday, October 25th. And it is up in Pasco County, so that'll be a long morning. Our Envision 2030 Board Workshop is on November 15th at 12:30 p.m., and it's being held at Tampa International Airport. Thank you to Joe Lapano and staff for making that possible. PSTA Transit Authority, our next board meeting is tomorrow, members. Commissioner Welch, I hope you're feeling better. Oh, yeah, you're not on it anymore. Oh, so sorry. Tomorrow at 9 a.m. And as chair of PSTA, I was able to join our CEO, Brad Miller, and several staff for the American Public Transportation Association's annual conference last week in New York. It was an incredible conference, number one. Number two, it gave us an opportunity to really take a deep dive into public transit advocacy, education, policy, and technical information. So we learned a lot. Like on the FAST Act renewal process and highway trust fund information, and lots of discussion on the gas tax at the federal level. And by the way, you know how we keep having conversations about our trust fund running out in 2022, our highway trust fund? The federal government's trust fund runs out next year. So they're in a bigger crisis than we are in terms of figuring out how to pay for transportation. So we did take some great networking opportunities on behalf of PSTA and Pinellas County in general. And I did have a lovely one-on-one conversation with the Federal Transit Administrator, Jane Williams, to other different federal level staff and the CEOs from the transit agencies across North America. I really think Pinellas County did a great job of positioning itself to be leaders in a few areas at APTA moving forward. One of the areas that PSTA is already leading on is our climate resiliency work, and you know how passionate and excited I've been about doing that work. And so while I was in New York, I was able to meet with a young woman named Cassie Flynn, who's the senior advisor on climate change at the UN. She and her staff are effectively the State Department for the United Nations, and we ended up with her because of the meeting that we had with Samantha Medlock, who's the senior counsel to the U.S. Congress on the climate crisis. So I think it's fair to say you can look forward to hearing a lot of updates about how the United Nations envisions the opportunity for Pinellas County and our regional compact that we've put in place to be leaders at the UN, because they have been looking for a coastal county to serve on their committee that addresses the impact of climate change on our coastal counties, especially in Florida. So they'd like to move forward with us into 2020 and have our efforts be part of the communication for the Conference of Parties, which will take place next year in Glasgow, Scotland. It's an ambitious goal, but I think after discussion with our Hank Hody that we are really on the cusp of doing some very incredible things for our county, for our state, and also for our nation, and that at some level, commissioners, when we do have our workshop on this issue of climate change, sea level rise, sustainability, and resiliency, I would like to see if it might be possible for Cassie to come down and talk with us about what the opportunities are and how they think we might position ourselves with the work that we're doing here in the county on this issue. So I found that just a great opportunity.
I would appreciate that information, because I think we need to understand what benefits it is directly for Pinellas County, as well as what costs might be involved on our end of thing, and what else we need to do. Is it more of a Tampa Bay Regional Planning Council initiative that becomes a regional thing versus just the county? I have a lot of questions about it.
Well, I do too, and that's why I have talked with Barry and here as well about having a workshop so that we could get that kind of input, all of us at the same time, and talk about what our role is versus the Regional Planning Council, for example. So the UN also would like to get involved with us at FAC on going forward so that she can better understand how the whole state is working on these issues now that the governor has the sustainability office and is working on a statewide plan. So again, I just think there's a lot of opportunities there, and it would be wise for all of us to be well informed about it. I'll let our illustrious chair give the report on Forward Pinellas. FAC and NACO's Legislative and Policy Conference for NACO is coming up in the month of November, and the FAC Legislative Conference is in Fort Lauderdale right before Thanksgiving. The Regional Planning Council has their annual summit, I'm just reminding you again, on January 7th and 8th, and we will have an international panel there at that meeting, so it should be a very exciting meeting. I hope you'll all put it on your calendars. It's going to be at the Hilton Carillon. And I did want to congratulate all of you for last week's very successful, so I understand, farm share in Tarpon Springs. Even though I wasn't able to attend, my heart and my spirit was with you anyway. That's my report, Madam Chair. Thank you.
Before we go to the next commissioner, Michael's does need clarification. Are you willing to do the waiver or not?
I would ask a vote, Commissioner, just to be clear that everyone's in agreement that we can waive. I would ask for a vote to make sure that we're on the record that the
You want a
BCC is
vote?
recommending waiving those guidelines, correct, those guideline restrictions as it applies in this instance. We can come back later on with revisions and proposals as to the disconnect, but as to this particular matter to get it moving forward, yes.
You just want a motion that we can move ahead with setting up a process for a waiver? I'm not comfortable doing a
Specific.
waiver today without having the guts behind it.
Well, my understanding was that because of the time frame involved in this particular ask and the circumstances, that the board was seeking that direction. If I'm mistaken, I apologize. That's what I thought you were doing today for purposes of, because they're your guidelines and you can certainly waive them and you can set parameters
That's
around
what
it.
I thought we were doing, too.
Yeah, that was my
Okay.
understanding too, so I apologize again, sorry, Commissioner. But, and the other thing is that it's always an up to amount anyway. And in this particular matter, there was $5,000 of value that the applicant ascribed to marketing. So if it was an up to 25, let's say the board was inclined to say, yes, it's an up to a 25, at least 5,000 for it is gonna be used for marketing. The disconnect is the differential in the operational expenses, which typically are not allowed under the guidelines, and that's what you would be waiving. The second piece that you would be waiving if you're moving forward with an agreement, especially because of the time sensitivities, would be typically you pay these post-event because they're usually a reimbursement for marketing dollars that have been spent. In this instance, it's not purely marketing, so you might be advancing some monies pre the event. But as Commissioner Seal aptly pointed out, one of the things we can build into any kind of funding agreement would be, one, it'd be based on a submittal of an invoice. So we've got to get an invoice to make sure those monies were used for the event. And two, in the eventuality that they can't prove that, you don't have to give them the money. Third, if you did give the money and find out that somehow the money got misspent, you can have legal action if needed against any applicant, as well as the fact that you could ban them from future eligibility. So that's as many safeguards as you can build into it, because Commissioner Long is correct. It's taxpayer, it's tourist development tax dollars, but they're still tax dollars. We're trying to build in as much transparency and accountability to these things, given the fact that every time you draft guidelines, when you apply them, sometimes they don't work out the way you think they're going to, and you have circumstances that don't fit in squarely. But anyway, so I just need direction from the board, I think staff does as well, as to what the next step is given the timeframes, whether it's a waiver now and we can bring back a funding agreement allowing this.
I guess for some reason, I thought we were just going to give direction for you to develop a waiver form and then come back. But if it's a time issue, then we can see how the board feels about this at this point.
I don't think we
Commissioner
have
Akers?
choice, do we?
My understanding, I don't know if Paul is here, if he has any more specifics as to the timeframes, but my understanding is it's a fairly abbreviated timeframe. I think that was part of the concern. And again, it's a very unusual circumstance, so that's kind of why it's not falling into a square,
Square box.
Exactly, that we have the definitive answer, so.
So is it that the organization isn't financially viable enough to front the money to get the reimbursement through the process as normal?
I can't speak to that as to their financials. My understanding is that they are definitely seeking the money up front.
It's a substantial amount of money that they have to lay out for the operation of this event. And I think mainly it's hotel rooms for participants in the event. And so that's where a good portion of this
Yes,
funds.
correct.
For out-of-town visitors.
Which would be deemed operational expenses.
So we're waiving that process, and we're waiving marketing versus operating expense. Normally, the marketing is what we would reimburse.
Correct.
So we're waiving that.
Basically, that's actually one piece of it. That's both the same, those are connected. The waiving of the prohibition on anything operational in nature, you would allow it in this particular instance. You would also be waiving and allowing them to seek the money now. Typically, it's a post-event based on submittals of marketing expenditures and invoices that are showing that, yes, these ads were taken to promote the destination, promote Pinellas County, promote their event. And in this case, it's a little unusual because it's basically you're kind of fronting the money, but you can build in parameters to ensure that the money is used properly. So,
Commissioner?
Well, I'd like to make that motion that we waive that requirement, that it be strictly related to marketing. With the idea that we will be forming guidelines, and I would love to work with you on that. After this will be a one-time thing. My understanding is that we've supported this event before, and so what has changed?
No.
This is the MLK parade, and we've supported it for.
We haven't done it through tourist bed tax
I
dollars.
Have we not?
I
No.
believe there might have been some support, Commissioner. I'm not sure of the details. It wasn't done through the Elite Event Funding Program.
Correct.
It was $25,000.
They didn't qualify for that. There was no category that would have allowed them to apply under that, whether there was some deal as far as promotional benefits to sponsor the event through other resources, I'm not sure. But it was not done through the Elite Event Program. But yes, I believe there
But
was
how
some
was it-
funding.
How was it funded?
I think he has some.
Paul may be able to.
Yes, Paul.
Paul Sacco, interim president and CEO of Visit St. Pete Clearwater. So it's my understanding last year's event, the support that was given was through the meetings and conventions incentive program to help with the rooms. I think that's what the previous president, CEO did, because it was the only kind of funding that could be done, because it wasn't through the elite funding program at that time.
So why is it not being done that way again? Was it just a?
David's not there
Because
anymore.
the category was created to do the cultural and heritage.
Correct.
And therefore, it then became a subset of the elite events.
Okay,
other-
but then
the other-
there weren't proper parameters put
The
about
other
it.
couple nuggets I'd lay here is, we really haven't received a written request from the organization to go ahead for a waiver. So yes, there would be a time crunch, as Michael said, that, because this is gonna occur, in January, but we haven't received that request. So I would say we can work on the waiver, but it would be pending us receiving that request. And to Commissioner's
Can
point,
somebody walk them through that process? Because
They have spent.
I am completely confused.
we did, and they signed
Yes.
off on the application. They knew that it was a reimbursement process, but they're
Okay, well,
They're
this
just-
is not a terribly sophisticated group, although they do put on this massive parade every year.
And they're asking for 25,000?
Oh, at least. Yeah.
up to 25,000.
There were 3 separate applications at one point, each totaling $25,000.
And here's the transparency.
I understand
because
that,
I
but-
brought it to you all so that you knew what was going on. And that, so.
Well, I wasn't clear on what was going on. Even though you brought it, I wasn't clear about what was going on, so.
Just the meeting last week. We talked about it for quite a
Yeah,
while.
okay. And I apologize for that, but
But it was made clear that the non-marketing dollars really weren't in play. But here we are
So why
requesting.
has that changed? Honestly, was it just because David allowed that and now we don't, or what?
Yes.
Well, they weren't part of the elite funding last year, and I think David was trying to be creative in how to help this group with their parade. I mean, that's.
Well, I'd
that's
kind of
what
like to
happened.
be creative too. I mean, I think it's a great event for us to support, and I don't think we need to be throwing up all kinds of barriers around it. I think it's great for this area. I think it's great for the city of St. Petersburg and for that community. Can we just figure out a way?
The waiver
I mean,
is.
That's why I
without
came up-
opening the door to everybody and their uncle, can we figure out a way?
That's why I came up with the idea of the waiver, because I thought that it then was transparent to you all, so you know what's going on. We'll work on the sponsorship and marketing package going forward. So that'll have more clarity, because their requests, they don't have enough in their sponsorship package to go up to the $25,000. So, and the $5,000 was for local advertising, not for out-of-the-market advertising. So that's why I'm coming to you all to, give some accountability to this.
Right.
But they do have bands that come in from outside the local
Yes.
area.
That's the whole thing.
So,
That's
I
why
mean, they
that's
just
what they need
don't
help with.
know how to do it. That's the problem.
So this is kind of an emergency waiver,
Kind of,
It's-
yeah.
Yes.
not a
Which
waiver.
they haven't even asked for yet, right?
Yes, they have. They've been talking to our staff. There have been long meetings by the staff and the Martin Luther King Parade applicant trying to come to resolution. And our staff felt uneasy. So they asked me, what should we do? And I says, I'm going to bring it to you guys and ask you. So that's why I'm here.
Well, I made a motion to,
I second
that
To the-
waiver.
for the
And,
fight.
and I think to summarize what Michael was saying, and tell me if this was your motion, to waive the prohibition on the operational funding and to also waive the requirement that the funds be reimbursed. So in other words, to allow them to get the funds up front.
Yeah, as long as
Those
there's
are
an
the two.
accounting later.
For
Correct.
this
Yes. With
group
appropriate
only.
safeguards.
For this group only.
Correct.
And for this year only, in
figure out a
addition,
better process.
Correct.
motion and seconder, I really do want the financial receipts provided. And that, if that's not provided adequately, then they cannot apply in the future. I really feel strongly about
I
that.
do too.
So can we call this an emergency waiver then,
Yes,
please?
we can call it an emergency waiver.
As well as directing staff to negotiate with the event organizer about marketing and opportunities for our logo and our presence with whatever.
And they were already doing that.
I assume, but.
Yeah. So,
Got it.
okay, I have a motion and a second, and you agree with the other parameters that I put behind it?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, okay. All right, are we ready to vote?
Yes.
Okay. Sorry, I went blank. Okay, unanimous. Thank you all for the healthy discussion. I appreciate it. I know it's a small matter for us, but it's a big matter for the organization. Okay, Commissioner Eggers.
Well, we're going from the UN to this discussion that we just had to
Yeah, where'd that
a
come from?
pump station expansion. How's that?
Oh,
Great.
wow. How
Wow, we're bringing it
that's
right
exciting.
close to home. I just really wanted to say just briefly on our Tampa Bay Water meeting yesterday, and the only reason that that's significant, working on a regional expansion in South County, is that the tenor of the meeting was a really positive one, relatively speaking, to some we've had recently, about getting water supply to the high-growth area of South County. So there's a short-term water supply issue that we had to deal with, and that particular expansion is at least helping get that taken care of as we continue looking at all of the water supply projects. We also talked about our master water plan feasibility studies for the desal plant, for our surface water treatment plant, and also some issues with the well field in South County of Hillsborough County with the sharp credits. We also had good conversation about water quality, and all of the member governments have been extremely engaged with Tampa Bay Water to talk about water quality. Now, keeping in mind that the water that we get from Tampa Bay Water meets all of the standards that are out there. So we're not meeting standards, but we're looking at Exhibit D in our interlocal agreement and talking about improving the total organic carbons that might be getting into the water from our well fields. And so one of the things that they talked about, the staff came up with a 7 to 8 year plan to get that kind of going, and many of us on the board were uncomfortable with that. So I think the move will be to accelerate that so that we can address that water quality issue, again, superior water quality issue that we're talking about trying to attain for our member government. So really important stuff, but again, we had a few little, we always get way off course with Councilman Miranda from Tampa. He goes into some conversations. I said, I don't know what he just said. But he's starting to talk a little bit about capital projects, long-term major capital projects that take our agreement beyond the 2038 termination date, as it now stands for Tampa Bay Water. So there are some other conversations that are starting to creep into some discussion on the dais from City of Tampa. I plan to go over and meet with those council members individually as time goes on, and with the chief of staff for the mayor, who happens to be Mr. Bennett, who used to work here. So just so that they understand where we're coming from in a very clear way. So it was a good conversation, good meeting, and we'll go on from there. We're still discussing having potential retreats and conversations to try to take the edge off some of the meeting. But having said that, I'll move on to our Forward Pinellas conversation. I think I sent you, or Kim sent you, our summary of what we talked about at Forward Pinellas. And so I'm not going to get into a lot of it because it is about 5 or 6 pages, and I would keep you guys till about 5 o'clock. So we're not going there. But there is a lot of conversation from the FDOT about our work plan and how it's being pushed back a little bit because of lessening dollars at the state level. Because of a lot of a downturn in the economy a little bit, but also some of the money's going up to the Panhandle for some of the issues that we faced from one of the hurricane a year ago. So there's a lot of push. I guess the program's being, some of the things that we were expecting in 2021, 2022 are being backed up a little bit. And that includes the 3 US 19 interchange projects. The only one that's funded right now is the Curlew Road interchange, and the Tampa Road, Alderman and Klosterman. Those discussions and all related to that have been deferred outside of our planning period, which is a little bit of a concern to those of us on the MPO or Forward Pinellas. Again, I think if you get a chance, take a look at this. I think it's some really good. It's a really good summary of what we talked about. And I'm not going to get into too much more. There was a lot of discussion on Drew Street and the issues that we face on Drew Street, and that has to do with county, city, and state all being responsible for different parts of Drew and some of the problems that we have on Drew Street. So I think there's going to be a lot more attention given to that area, and further conversation to come. And that's all I'm going to talk about that. PSTA, Commissioner Long talked about the VA board. We meet next at the end of the month. TMA, we meet the first week of November. And that's about it. Now, I just want to briefly say thank you to a few people. Palm Harbor Chamber had their teachers' breakfast a week ago or so, and it was just really great. There's probably 300 plus teachers there. Really, really good breakfast. A lot of excitement, a lot of energy in the room, and a lot of appreciation for the Palm Harbor Chamber continuing to address the thanks to the teachers. So really, really appreciate their efforts. I was also in the Oldsmar Council last Tuesday night. They said goodbye to Gabby McGee, who's one of their commissioners. A really nice send-off for her, and she's taken a promotion with her job and moving to Spain or France. I'm not sure, one of the two. And so she'll be leaving immediately. They've appointed somebody else. I didn't get the name. I'm sorry about that. And she'll hold the seat through March of this coming year, and then they'll have a new election for Gabby's seat. So we want to wish Gabby and just a tremendous success in her new venture. I also wanted to thank Commissioner Welch for his giving our proclamation down at the Casa Benefit, and that was a great morning. Commissioner Welch and Commissioner Justice and myself were there, and I know everybody else was there in spirit to really shine a light on really important issues facing our community, and Ken and the mayor did a great job of delivering the proclamation together, so thank you for that. I think honor flight's tonight, so I don't know if we're going to get a chance to get there or not. I think it just depends on how busy we are in the next meeting, so we'll keep our fingers crossed on that.
Figured you better bring your
You already
jammies.
said about farm shares. Thank you to everybody that was involved with that. Commissioner Justice, your office, Courtney always does a great job being the team leader there. And I would say that Veterans Day in Oldsmar, Curlew Hills, and Bay Pines are all having a veterans ceremony, and I saw a couple of the proclamations out there, so make sure you sign those, please. And a reminder that I guess after our next commission meeting in the afternoon, we'll be having that transportation work session, which is a really big deal, I think. A lot of conversation. I've been presenting to some groups about transportation and this whole plan that's being put out there, and there's a lot of interest, intrigue, and questions. And so I think as we continue to develop that plan, I think this will be a good work session for that. So, and that's about all I've got. Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Gerard?
Yeah, not much in the way of committee meetings. Career Sources going to be looking at the responses to our legal services RFP in a couple of weeks. I went on a tour of Spectrum Field, which I know several of you have done, but it was really helpful, actually, to get some further insight into the scope of their operation there and what all they do out of that one location. I was surprised that I didn't catch that the first time when I was like 3 weeks on the commission. Somehow you get a better perspective. Went to the Habitat annual lunch at Ruth Eckerd. It's always exciting to hear what they are planning. They're such a great group. I'm also looking forward to the Ruth Eckerd Hall expansion being done. It's pretty exciting. It's going to be pretty grand. Commissioner Justice and I were at a disability awareness annual meeting, conference, whatever, down in St. Pete. And if you haven't had a chance to go to that, you really should. It's really inspiring. It's celebrating employers who are who have hired disabled people, and some of them have hired tons of them. I mean, for example, Publix was one that was awarded years ago. And I have to say, it makes me feel good every time I walk in there and there are people bagging groceries and, you know, having some gainful employment. And I think that's all, actually. Going to be going to a opening of a new affordable housing complex that BOLI is putting together on 66th Street. They'll be working on another one on 66th Street and 62nd Avenue soon, so it's great to see what they're doing too. So that's all.
We're fortunate. Commissioner Justice.
Thank you, Madam Chair. A lot of events over the last few weeks, but I do want to thank Senator Brandis for taking time. He came and toured the Lellman community with us with Chris Moore and Steve Cleveland. We did not the full tour, but we got a good insight there. Representative Diamond is actually coming this week. Representative Sigley came a few weeks back, so we're trying to get our legislators in touch and to see on the ground, so we appreciate their time. Appreciate Kelly Levy. I did the Lake Seminole Dredge Tour. If you have done that or have not done that, it's worth just to see the sheer mass of what looks like a football stadium size pit that's been dug out to handle the muck. Great day in Oldsmar. I sent you the article about the Lightning's street hockey rink there that they did. The community is incredibly excited about that. That was a great day with Commissioner Eggers was there. I mentioned the Casa breakfast. I attended a Habitat dedication in Childs Park area of St. Petersburg. This was one of the special ones where Work Done Charities came and provides an extra assistance with the down payment, as well as working with Aaron's Rental to completely furnish the home. And they do a really nice job of taking care of everything you could think of that the family would need for the home. So it was a great day. Yeah. The Area Agency on Aging, along with the local counties and cities, participated in the Community Assessment Survey of Older Americans for our region. And we have the survey back. And on November 15th, they will be presenting the survey results for a community. You're more than welcome to attend. It is November 15th from 10 to noon. It will be at the Pinellas Realtors Organization. If you haven't got the invite but are interested, let me know and I'll send you the form to register for that.
Yeah.
And then it's been mentioned a couple times, but I do want to share my thanks for everyone who participated in Farm Share and give you some information on what the final day was. Over 13,000 pounds of food, close to 50 volunteers, including folks from Citizens Alliance for Progress from Tarpon Springs, St. Pete College Tarpon Springs campus and Seminole campus, the Florida Dream Center, Visit Florida, St. Timothy's Lutheran Church, Palm Harbor Community Services Association, Pinellas County Attorney's Office, Pinellas County Board of County Commissioners, and our Marketing Communications Department. Over 300 families were served on site, with another 200 bags being distributed to the Shepherd Center, to CAP, and to the Dream Center's Adopt a Block program in Tarpon Springs. I want to thank everyone that participated, especially Don Crowell was there working hard all day, so we appreciate his time. Barbara Hernandez and the communications team, Kim Greenleaf, Doyle Walsh, Whitney Creech, and of course Courtney Vandenberg for all the time, and all our staff that supported the effort. So thank you.
Thank you for your leadership on that.
It's a great event.
Mr. Peters.
Thank you, Madam Chair. We brought up Yak earlier. We had our meeting last week, and they're taking an email survey right now to outline their hopes and expectations for the program, so we can be sure to tailor things that maybe we have not considered in the past to keep them engaged. We're hoping that we won't have as much of a drop-off this time. Jewel, I want to thank you for having Carol present to talk about the sunshine laws with the students. I don't remember if I mentioned that we had Representative DeSigli and Senator Roussan's staff, Jason at ACTS, to tour because they're doing the appropriations for the 10 beds for Marchment beds. And that was very successful. It's good to see it operating and running. They're doing really good. I was in D.C. last week. I apologize, I missed the workshop. I did the FACT federal fly-in. Met with our congressional delegation and department heads. It was really good, really very interesting. The weather was terrible, but it was a good experience regardless. The other thing I want to thank Raheem and his staff. We got a call from the mayor of Reddington Shores, and the pier fell apart this weekend, and there were major 8x4s and plywood, and not plywood, but lots of wooden nails floating, and there were surfers dodging the wood that was floating with the nails, and there were swimmers out there. It was really bad. It was the beach was a mess, and Ashley called Raheem, and they got a team of people out there really quickly to pick up all of the debris. So hands to you guys and your staff. They really responded quickly and made sure that the beach was safe again. So I really think that Raheem and his team and Ashley did an amazing job. She got a phone call from her and went to the beach right away and ended up getting her car towed on top of it. But but she did a really great job. So, and that's all I have.
Thank you. I think we've covered everything I wanted to cover. I will be having a juvenile welfare board meeting soon, so I have nothing really to report there. But I did want to send condolences to Lee Benjamin's family. He was an exemplary leader to our community, and we're very thankful for his years of service as school board principal, and then moving on to the school board itself. And he will be remembered for all the lives that he changed. So with that, we will start back up at 6 o'clock, and I suspect it'll be a fairly long evening, so we'll be prepared. Thanks.